Special, presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
It's time to go coast to coast on some of the free agent moves you might have missed, because there's been a lot the last 2 days. Starting in Atlanta, Nickeil Alexander-Walker joins the Hawks via a sign-and-trade. 4 years, $62 million. Mark, what do you like about the move?
Great moves, adds some shooting, as well as Luke Kennard. And Trae Young actually called him and Luke Kennard, convinced them to come to Atlanta. Now let's see if he can convince Atlanta to give him that big deal in a couple days.
Recruitment Trae trying to make some moves here in the Eastern Conference. In Memphis, Ty Jerome agreed to a deal, 3 years, $28 million. He finished third in Sixth Man of the Year voting after a career best season. Brian, how do you like the fit?
Yeah, this is a dynamic guard off the bench. Can really attack, get into the paint and distribute. Can also get hot from the outside. Pass, dribble, score. Had a great year for the Cavs. They hated to see him go, but the Grizzlies were able to move in when the Cavs were faced with second apron trouble. Ever heard of it?
How about here in Los Angeles? Brook Lopez returning to his hometown of Los Angeles. 2 years, $18 million with the Clippers. They surprised people with 50 wins this season. Tim, how do you like this?
I love it. Number one, he's going to be deadly in the 1-5 pick-and-roll game with James Harden with his ability to space the floor. He's still a great rim protector. This is a guy that still got votes for third-team all-defense this past season. And I love the fact he has a ton of big game experience, a lot of playoff coverage for Brook Lopez.
Well, and then we got the Nets free agent, D'Angelo Russell, coming back to the Western Conference. He will join Dallas on a 2-year, $13 million deal. He's coming off a career-low scoring season, but he's going to have a player option in that second year and could really help Dallas be a piece for depth for them. The Mavericks, they will be without Kyrie Irving to start the season. He's still recovering from that ACL injury. But Dallas has plenty of options when you look at their playmakers here. They drafted Cooper Flagg. They signed D'Angelo Russell. They look to have a ton of point guards here until Kyrie Irving returns. They can maybe do that by committee. Now joining us here is the man about Dallas, Tim McMahon. Howdy, Tim. The Mavericks, they've had a busy offseason. How do they put all of these pieces together?
Howdy again, Malika. Look, like you said, D'Angelo Russell is not coming in to be the point guard. He's coming in to be the lead guard while Kyrie Irving's recovering from that torn ACL, then likely shifting to a key reserve role. But it will be point guard by committee. That's the exact term that Nico Harrison used. And Jason Kidd made it clear he'd like to see Cooper Flagg maybe even be the chairman of that committee. Expect him to have the ball in his hands for as many summer league games as he plays. They want to test him. They want to, as Jay Kidd said, make him uncomfortable, see what he can do with that. And, you know, Jay Kidd sees big-time point forward potential in Cooper Flagg, compares him to Grant Hill. And for D'Angelo Russell, he's not necessarily a run-your-team point guard. He's a guy who can get buckets, can get his own buckets, can create for other people a little bit. And this is a situation that allows him to really play to his strengths and, frankly, showcase himself for the rest of the league potentially next summer.
And to potentially find ways that he fits in with this roster as well, up until the point that Kyrie Irving returns, and figure out how they want to use him going forward. Tim, thank you so very much for that insight as we go back to our panel here. Udonis, how good do you think the Dallas Mavericks can be? Because when they traded Luka, and they had some injuries to AD, they had injuries to Kyrie, we weren't exactly having this conversation.
I think people got to take notice. I think people really got to keep an eye on Dallas and what they're doing and how that thing manifests over there. We're talking about D'Angelo Russell. I understand what he did last year, but this is a guy who shoots about 40% from the three-point line. No, he's not a ball handler in that situation, but it doesn't matter because AD handled the ball a lot in that situation, similar to what we talked about with Giannis. So you're going to run a lot of offense through AD. They run that 4-5 pick and roll. I don't know why bigs can't figure out how to stop it, but it always works when they wear that 4-5 pick and roll. You have a guy like D'Angelo Russell who can sit over there and knock down shots. You have time for Cooper Flagg to develop because you have guys that stand behind him. You have the Najee Marshalls. You have the Caleb Martins. You also have Christie who came over in that trade. They have pieces, and you also have a coach that has been there and has seen everything but the win. This guy has been a Hall of Famer. This guy's been an Olympian. He's been a player in the locker room. He knows everything about what these guys are going through. Take notice and keep an eye on Dallas.
You're going to hear me get me tired of hearing me saying this, but depth and size. Size and depth. Depth and size.
Print it on a T-shirt.
Look at this team, size and depth. Yeah. They have terrific depth throughout this team. They've really built over the last couple of years. They can play huge if they want. I mean, look, they're going to see times this year where Cooper Flagg's going to play point forward. And I'm actually very interested to see it. There's not going to be a lot of pressure on this team early. They're going to be expected to play their best basketball late. Let Cooper Flagg experiment a little bit. If they don't have their best year next year, it's not a big deal. You're going to have Kyrie Irving recovering anyway. I like this team over the next couple of years, and they've really positioned themselves to have such great size. It makes such a difference when you look at these top teams in the West.
I agree with Wendy. I love that point you just made. It's not all in this coming season because of the Kyrie Irving situation. And what that means is Cooper Flagg gets 1 year to season himself, but he's going to have an impact immediately. You're going to be better because of Cooper Flagg's impact defensively from day one. And his passing is really going to surprise people the way this guy can read the floor. I think eventually he can extend his range out to 24 feet. He's got a little bit of a mechanical hitch that I think he needs to work on if he wants to become a legitimate deep threat from that distance at the NBA level. But his competitiveness, his toughness, and his IQ right off the bat are going to make them better. You still have Anthony Davis. D'Angelo Russell's a nice pickup, but it's the year after. That's when I think they're going to be trying to go all in the West.
10 years ago, Nike signed this kid out of Ohio State, very exciting guard, D'Angelo Russell. It was Nico Harrison that signed him. So they have had a long relationship. D'Angelo's looking to go to a place where, look, this isn't a great free agency market, not a lot of money. Go there, do some great things, be able to start, be able to win. He's excited about this, and also he's a former teammate of Anthony Davis. They had a great rapport together, on and off the court. So he knows what it is. He knows what happens when Kyrie comes back, and he knows they could win, and he knows it could make him look great. So it was a great move for D'Angelo Russell.
Understanding your role and having that understanding coming in is really important on teams that are trying to win. It's going to be interesting because Cooper Flagg, you don't often see a #1 pick coming into a situation where you're expected to win, where you're expected to make a push for the playoffs. But talking to Cooper at the draft, he's cut out for this. This is what he wants to do. This is what he's looking forward at, a group he's looking forward to learning from. The Dallas Mavericks, dangerously lurking, maybe is how we're going to put it here in the Western Conference. It has become incredibly crowded. Coming up all time, who do you think of? We thought we'd do a little top of the top. These are picked by our producers, starting at number 5. What do you think? Steve Nash to the Suns in 2004. He promptly won MVP in each of his first 2 seasons with Phoenix, while leading the Suns to 3 West Finals appearances in their 7 seconds or less era. And then at number 4, LeBron returning to Cleveland, where he led the Cavs to 4 straight finals and ended the city's 52-year championship drought. That's what I'm thinking. If that's number 4, that 7-game series against a 73-win Warriors team, then what do we got above this? Okay, I get this. KD signing with those 73-win Warriors. That I'm okay with being maybe a little higher on the list. I promise it's not just hometown cooking.
I know.
Look how low the money was.
You know Shaq signed for 7 for 119.
Look at the money
Jakob
back.
Poeltl just got a better deal.
Well, speaking of Shaq, at number 2,
There it is. You just
all
called
the
it.
way
Yeah.
back.
There it is.
96. He left the
120
Magic.
legs.
I'm sorry.
It's
Shorter than $1 million.
Over 7 years.
7
That's
for
what
120.
it is. Over 7
And
years.
he had his Magic deal.
So then at number 1, the decision. LeBron took his talents to South Beach to pair with a pair of championships, reached 4 finals in 4 seasons.
Technically, he was
joined
traded.
Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and our own Udonis Haslem.
Miami.
But that was then. This is now. A little bit of a different feel to this free agency than those, but no shortage of impactful moves here. So we thought we'd do a little fill-in-the-blank free agency special. Why I am struggling with that? I don't know. Maybe it's because we've been on air for 3 hours. I thought we'd start with the biggest surprise of this free agency legs, the biggest surprise of this free agency.
All right, I'm going here, man. I'm going.
Oh,
I like
Denver.
that.
I did not see this. I did not see a reset to this point. They finished the year. You're wondering, what are they going to do to give themselves another chance to win in the Jokic era? They have done that and more.
you know why I like this? Because it's surprise good thing. You could take that either way. You could take surprise like, oh, pleasantly surprised, or you could take surprised and think, ooh, a little surprise.
Same Z's.
You going with the Nuggets as well? I really like what the Nuggets have done.
Bucks.
They have been
That
surprising.
Dame move. That shook up the world.
Yesterday, I was telling them
Same
to throw in the
wavelength.
chips. I was saying know when to hold them, know when to fold them. But they came out this morning swinging, so they surprised
everybody
me.
up.
They
got me.
surprised everybody. And this morning when I saw Miles Turner, I said, oh, okay. And then the Dame news, that was really surprising. Okay, who is under the most pressure? Blank is under the most pressure this summer.
Ooh, that's tough.
Under pressure. Oh, Legs is like, I got this. I'm ready to go. All right, Legs.
Want me
what
to
you
go
got?
first?
Yes.
Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, the clock's ticking. He really wants that other championship outside of Golden State. He's around a very young team. Kevin Durant's got a couple of years to try to get this done. They positioned him as well as they could.
UD?
You got a lot of people you got to make happy over there. And you got to get a center. You got to figure out
They're
how
never
you
happy.
Is it the Lakers or is it Rob? Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah. You got to figure it out. You got your pecking order. Who you gonna make happy
Wendy.
first? You got to establish your pecking order.
I got Red Panda's doctor.
Oh,
wow.
I hope Red Panda's okay. She fell tonight in Minneapolis. We send you the best. We hope you're going to be okay.
yeah, she fell in the Commissioner's Cup performance. We hope that she is doing well.
New York management and owner.
Oh,
Interesting.
good one.
New York management and owner.
Just got to the East Finals, man.
And now you got to get the right
Coach
coach.
hired.
Yep, absolutely.
Killer Mike.
All right, let's get some winners in here. Who's the biggest winner of free agency? The biggest winner of this 2025 free agency? I like our thinking music here.
Oof.
I also love that Legs is clearly studied for this test, and he's ready to go. What you got, Legs?
We just keep talking about the same team, but yeah, why not? I'm going with the Houston Rockets. I just think you look at where they were. They were 2 seed a year ago, but nobody thought they were a contender. That's different now. They could be a 2 seed and a contender this year.
Were you a good test taker in school?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Solid.
I feel that energy from you. Mr. Windhorst.
Miles Turner, who 2 days ago they were like, well, where are you going to sign, Miles? Everyone's out
That's
of
a good one.
everyone's. And Miles Turner's agent, Austin Brown, shout out. That was pretty good work that you came up with that maneuver to get him paid.
That was such a good answer. You're making Spears change his answer over here.
That's a good one.
I know we can put players, but since we can't,
Yes, you can.
Not-
Dame time. This dude is free. Free at last. Free at last. He ain't got to go to Milwaukee no more. He's
And got his money.
And
got his money.
Don't malign
Can
Milwaukee.
make a choice.
I
And
do
he
like
could
Milwaukee.
stay home with his babies.
UD's changing his answer, too. We got a lot of switch-ups here.
I was going to be a little creative, but I got to be honest. I'm going to just go back to Houston.
Yep.
I have to be honest. To me, what they've done and been able to keep their core, and I know they got 3 centers, but they're loading up for Joker. They understand the assignment wholly and fully. So I'm going to stay with Houston.
You guys are sharing off your papers over here. All right, if we did biggest winner, that means we have to do the other side. The biggest loser in this free agency. The biggest loser in this free agency. It can be a team. It can be a player. It could be a executive. Apparently, it can be a halftime performer's doctor. We can get creative here.
You go first.
Yeah, what do you got, Mr. Spears?
I got Kuminga and these mid-level free agents, man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is a tough market.
That's a good one.
I'm sorry, guys. Next year's going to be a better year for you. Be creative. Figure this out.
Get creative.
Man.
What do you got? You got one yet?
Yes.
I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. And I think, look, you just lost 24.5 points at your lead guard position. He's not there anymore. It cost them a lot of money to do that. You lost Brook Lopez. Good replacement, Miles Turner, but you don't know what the effect's going to be on Giannis Antetokounmpo. This could be the biggest loser of all, if particularly he's unhappy.
Udonis, I see waffling.
You're going to like this one, UD. I'm going to say Boston. Look, they did what they had to do, but they've had to take a big part of their team apart. I don't even know. And Jaylen Brown had knee surgery. I don't know. They might be a play-in team next year.
Udonis?
Go with the Knicks. You still got to figure out what you're going to do with your coaching staff. You're making moves. I love bringing in Clarkson. I love everything you're doing, but at the end of the day, you need somebody to lead that group and bring it all together.
All right. Well, free agency, the good news is even though our specials are a minute away from being done,